Hi YouTube, welcome to this week's video. This week's video is all to do with this doll here. Whose shoes keep falling off no matter what I do. Definitely going to have to stitch them on, I think. So, this doll is based on the character Asha from Disney's Wish. And brand new feature for my dolls, the arms move. Pattern will be in the descriptions below, can be found on Raverly.com. But if you're not interested in the pattern, you can still watch this video because I do explain quite a few different stitch techniques here as well. Now, the practice doll I made as I wrote the pattern here has been made in Aran weight yarn using a 4.5mm hook, and it comes out at 50 centimeters tall, which is about 20 inches. So join me on this video. We're going to remake this doll in a smaller size. We're going to make it in double knit using a 3mm hook, and we will see how that turns out. Stop. Just want to make something clear. In my patterns I say increase. What I mean by an increase is it's simply just 2 stitches in one, and most often not throughout all of my patterns this is a single crochet American terminology, double crochet UK terminology. If it is going to be a different stitch, such as a treble or a half treble, then I would tell you that in the pattern. Round 5 on the arms states making the thumb is 3 trebles UK terminology, 3 doubles American terminology, in one stitch to create a bubble stitch, which is the thumb. So I'm just going to show you how to do this. Yarn over hook through the last stitch of row 5, yarn over hook, pull up, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over hook, pull through 2, yarn over hook, pull through 2. Repeat this 2 more times. Now to create the bobble, we pull this up, remove our hook, insert our hook back 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. Put the loop back over the hook and pull through. There we have it. At the end of round 8, the pattern indicates that you're to do a colour change to violet. This is because we are changing from crocheting the doll's skin to the doll's sleeve. So the first thing you would do is with your last stitch of row 8, you put your hook through your stitch, yarn over, pull through. We have 2 loops of our first colour on our hook. Get our new colour, yarn over hook and pull through. Move our stitch marker. Now you can just start your next row in the violet if you'd like. You can do that, it's absolutely fine. Or we can work a colour change row, and a colour change row is every stitch, yarn through, hook through, yarn over hook, pull through with the koala, get the violet, pull through both loops, hook into the next stitch, loop over with your first yarn, yarn over hook with our second yarn and pull through. We'll work this all the way around Now in our last stitch, we are not going to put it here with the stitch marker. We're going to put it in the stitch underneath. You work it the exact same way, so not here, here. First yarn over the hook and pulled through. Now we're going to take our second yarn and pull that one through. Remove your stitch marker now and place it in your last stitch. Your first stitch of your next row will be here, not here. Pull the koala yarn tight. And continue your row as normal. This just helps prevent the step up effect that can happen. It's not a perfect fix, but it is a solution that does minimize the look. Another thing with the arms, when you reach row 20, you have to start differentiating between your doll's right arm and left arm. There are subtle differences just for the shaping of the arms. The feet and the shoes both start with a chain 7, and then we put our first stitch into the second loop from the hook. Then we're putting 3 into the end. We are turning and working along the other side of the chain. And that takes us back up to our first stitch, and we're going to put 2 stitches into this one. And now this becomes our round that we work around. So now when we start here, this will be round 2. So we're going to put a stitch marker here. Okay, now that we have our legs, we're going to join them together and start on the body. Now we have 20 stitches going around both legs here, but our joining stitch is going to take 2 of those stitches, one from each leg, away. So it doesn't really matter which of these stitches here that you use to join with, but what you are going to do is you're going to work around the back of the legs to the front and then back around here. So I was like putting in my pattern that you are beginning and ending in the center of the butt. So I'm just going to put a stitch marker through there, and then I will join the 2 stitches behind there. You're aiming to have 19 stitches going around both of these legs. I've decided to stick with the koala from Wendy's to build up the body until basically until it'll be visible for the dress. But I know a lot of people like to put pant details on, so if you're wanting to do that, I would switch colours here, like do a white or something, or even switch to the violet immediately. Right, so we've got our joining stitch there, so that doesn't count, and now we just work around. So we've finished the body now. We switch back to our koala flesh tone. towards the top, so this will be the neckline of the underskirt. Both our arms are left open at the top because this is where you can choose to put some toy joints. Okay, I'm going to show you a DIY way to do toy joints if you haven't got any. We can do it with buttons, and we're going to attach the top here in line with this purple here. Okay, so to do this, you need 2 buttons and a needle whose eye is small enough to actually fit through your eye. I'm just going to put a knot in here. Right. So the idea is you are going to thread through each of these holes in the button, go through this line of the arm, through this line of the body, and then through all of these holes of the needle as well. What makes the toy joint movable is that you are only going to be going through the same hole each time. This isn't a hard technique, but it is fiddly. You do have to have patience with it. Right. So that is in, and as you can see, your arm is movable. Just want to secure the button into the arm, so use your same thread, go over the top of the button through the arm here, and now we're going to close the arm. Make sure to flatten it against the body with your thumb forward. And the neatest way to close is to just work across and just catch the front loops only. We're going to work all the way around. And as you can see, the hole is closing without much effort at all. I'll show you a few of the stitches on the shoe. The shoe is removable. Once it's done, if you want to secure it with a slip stitch, you can. So at row 5 you work a row of single crochet American terminology, double crochet UK terminology in the back loops only. Then in rows 6 and 7 we start some of our speciality stitches. So the first speciality stitch is a triple stitch UK terminology, a double stitch American terminology, and that is worked yarn over hook, through the next stitch, yarn over hook, pull through. So you have 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over hook, pull through 2, yarn over hook, pull through 3. Your next speciality stitch is a half treble UK terminology, half double US terminology, and that's done with yarn over hook, through the stitch, yarn over hook, pull up. Again, you've got 1, 2, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over hook, pull through all 3. Next speciality stitch, UK terminology, is called a double triple stitch. American terminology, it's called a triple stitch. We wrap our yarn around our hook, then wrap it around again, then insert, wrap around our yarn again and pull through. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on our hook. Wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through 2, wrap around, pull through the final 2. Next we're going to do 3 slip stitches. Slip stitches are very flat stitches. So you put your hook through the stitch, yarn over, pull through, and then pull directly through your first loop. So again, you have 1 loop on your hook, through your stitch, yarn over, bring it through the stitch, then through your first loop. Right, next we're going to do a half treble decrease, UK terminology, half double increase, American terminology. So, yarn over hook. Your hook is now going to go in the front loop only of the next stitch, then front loop only of the stitch after that. Yarn over hook. We now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook. We're going to pull through 2, yarn over hook, and pull through all 3. Next we are going to do a triple decrease, UK terminology, double decrease, American terminology. Yarn over hook, through the front stitch only of the next stitch, the front loop only of the stitch after that. 1, 2, 3, 4 loops on our hook, yarn over hook, pull through 2, yarn over hook, pull through 2, yarn over hook, pull through 2. Okay, so we're at the point now where we're going to join the skirt. So you want to point your doll's feet away from you and turn it around to the back. And you are just working single crochets into the front loop that you left here on the body. Okay, we're on the skirt now and we are on row 11. Row 10 is when we started using back post and front post stitches. Also, row 10 had a group of stitches worked in the front loop only. I've done them as well. So you can see we've got some loops unworked here at the back. This is purely just to give the skirt panels a bit more of a poof out. You can leave them out if you don't want to do it. Right, so I'm going to show you how to do some of these stitches. So this first one is a back post double crochet. So back post single crochet for American terminology. So I've just finished this last round, and I've got my hook here. Instead of putting my hook in the next stitch would be here, we're actually going to be working in this bit, and this is a back post. So it simply means that we take our hook around the back of the stitch here. We cross over the top and go back to the back. Yarn over hook, pull up, yarn over hook, pull through. That's a back post. Front post. We have a hook here. We're going in through the front and up, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through. Now another back post, going in through the back, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through two. Front post again, in through the front, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through two. One more back post, so go in through the back, across the front, in the back, yarn over hook, pull through, yarn over hook, pull through. See, we are creating a bump which we are using to mimic the pleats of the skirt. We now need to do 10 single crochets or 10 double crochets, American UK terminology. And we're actually going to start by putting our first one right here. So there was our last back post only stitch. And we're going to put our next stitch here. Now instinctively you think you need to put it here, but if you do that, as you go around, this pleat line is going to start to go wonky. I'll show you what I mean. On the first one that I made, you see that it starts to go very wonky. So if you do this correction, it will stop that from happening. So like I said, don't put your first double crochet or single crochet, American terminology, here. Put it right next to the back loop only, here. Okay, so I have finished the underskirt now. You can see we have a colour change here and then back. These last two rows actually colour change within the row. And I have bullet pointed on the pattern each single colour. This dark purple, which is called Emperor, is actually only one stitch each. And then we've finished off with a row of Emperor on the bottom as well. Oh, for those who this sort of stuff bugs them, my 6-year-old did my nails. Right, so last piece of clothing on this is the overdress. Now, I've already made all the pieces. So we have 2 front pieces and a back piece. We are going to use the first row of the rest of the skirt to join this all up. Oh, get that the right way around. Okay, so I'm going to put a DC in there. Single crochet for American terminology, and work along the bottom of this front panel. For these straps here as well, you'll just slip stitch them in the Emperor purple, but that can be done last. I prefer to make it all off the body and then put it on, but as you can see, that would sit there. I think I might have to do a row of increases, to be honest. So the overdress goes to about here, and then we're simply going to pick it up and ruche it at this side, but I will do that once it's done. Okay, moving on to the hair, we have a standard skull cap here. That'll be on the pattern. Also, just want to put in here, the ears have also been done, but I like to attach them after I've done the hair because I think it just gives you a better idea about where they will go. So these are just chain strands. Cut it up, and I'm going to pin them. YouTube, here we are, the finished doll in double knit yarn and using a 3mm hook, and it's come out at roughly 31 centimeters, which is, I've forgotten, about 12 inches. I'm much happier with how this one came out. I mean, there are quite a few mistakes on this one. Would say something went a little wrong with the head here, and one of the feet is quite crooked, but this one has definitely turned out a lot better. And I haven't actually stitched these shoes on, and they're staying on a lot better. Once again, if you're interested in the pattern, you can find it at raverly.com, and I will link that in the descriptions below. And I'm going to give a special thank you today to my camera crew, my twins, Claire and Bobby. Say bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.